Stories you told me about him, I could see that it's night and day. He told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many rooms. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. And I'm will some riding on my friendships. Solid, I get big deposits on my whips, exotic. Revving the engine, well, city dependent. I gotta finish it, I want opinions, she wanted things, yeah. She want a ring or some sort of arrangement, something that's dangerous. I wanna change it, I wanna claim it, yeah. I want it painted, yeah. She quick to say no cause she know she a diamond, she getting quiet, yeah. She on the diet, she want a massage, yeah. Tryna get intimate, yeah. Bank account never diminishing, yeah. Niggas are changing their images, yeah. Niggas act hard but they innocent, yeah. Hop in the tank and move militant, yeah, 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 yeah. Find me somewhere out in London, you know that's the hideaway. I need some head and some more support from you right away. Since I've been making donations to you like United Way, you know I do. Stories you told me about him, I could see that it's night and day. He told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many rooms. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. And I'm will some riding on my friendships. Solid, I get big deposits on my whips, exotic. Trunk on the engine, I'm on a mission. The Bronco 250, I'm out your division. I got him excited, know it's been a little minute. I left her delighted, made her love off a chrome horn. These suckers despite it, the touch is the Midas. She say fuck me and calm, I just do it like love her, but Nike. Ordered a jet for you and your friends. Show for you running that big body Benz. Got a little bit that came up from nothing. We shopping in London and doing it big. Landed private, but we out in public. I know we the topic for you and your kids. Last Monopoly gon' broke, not an option. If they could've stopped it, they would've been dead. They would've been dead. She could be the wig. Don't play with my head, you test my emotions. Don't be testing my phone every day, I'ma leave it on red. Don't digging and stroking. My new bitch pussy wet like an ocean, I need a new spread. The solid one chosen. I'm gon' wanna stay focused, I can't let them put me on edge.
Can't put me on edge. I just bust on my wrist and this rose gold and it's an edge. I just put pointers on feds. I just counted to me and all cash and got hit from the feds. Yeah, I just told them if we played, then we stop in the growth for they dreads. I just had told put the pyramid push that I'm never gonna drive them to shed. Build a panoramic goals. We got foes and deuces toast on the big dog.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball mid-major slate, NBA and NHL winners as well, and we got to cash back-to-back squad rides. This is Behind the Lines. I mean, Chucky Hepburn had Boopy Miller in jail. It was tough to watch. Maybe the worst game I've ever seen. Boopy Miller missing layups left and right. Couldn't cover a parked car. You got Chucky Hepburn jacking up threes. Didn't have a chance because for some reason, I don't know why, but in hockey, a 2-goal lead is actually like losing. It might be worse than losing. You might as well be losing because a 2-goal lead is never safe.
This feels like a game where Ohio State can make this weirdly close, but it's a game where you look at it and you're like, okay, Purdue should dominate at home, and you turn it on because it's a tied game with 3 minutes left and Ohio State's fighting. I think this is going to be a close game when really on paper it shouldn't be at all.
And then I see this quote from the coach, his starting center, Tomislav. He literally said, deathly ill. The kid's sitting on your fucking bench. What are you talking about? He's deathly ill. He looks fine to me. And if he is that sick, why is he sitting next to the rest of your team? Are the neurons in your brain not functioning? What's going on up there in Illinois? What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Thursday, episode 633 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, why not start today? The best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store, Google Play. Go check out Bookit Sports if you have not already. All right, Jovan, good bounce back day yesterday. Can we clap it up? Good bounce back day yesterday. Yes, we do take that. We move, we groove. Let's go take a peep at the squad rides. Haven't seen this in a while. How about some green? Green?
Woo fucking pig.
Let's go, Goots.
Woo. Thank God we have the hot hogs and horrendous teams like the Texas Longhorns to fade. Just love that.
Yeah, they almost crept back into that puppy.
Yep, thankfully they got down 20, so it didn't matter.
Turner Mack, it was always putting 5 units on the squad rides. Could not make that a routine. Okay, but maybe you had a feeling in your gut about his cash in last night. Always got to be tailing responsibly. Got to tail every night. Can't pick your spots. All right, W cash last night, guys. Let's look at the Sharp report and see how we did overall on all the plays. Pretty good bounce back day. Jovan 3-2, swept the straight bets. We take that. Sure.
Certainly do take that.
Sure.
Wish at least the Suns game would have been a little closer. Could have had that, but
yeah.
We'll be back for Palo today. Don't worry.
Yeah, I wish the Magic game was a little bit closer.
That would have been nice
games
too.
Wish we're a little closer.
That would have been nice too, but
yeah. We'll talk about that in a sec. Providence in the pink unis. I guess that was just cake. I don't know. Only straight bet we didn't hit yesterday.
That team.
Thought that was a winner.
Rat meat.
Yeah, they just kind of fell apart at the end.
Dude, in the breast cancer unis, man, we can't be doing that.
I know. You got to come through in those. They're so fresh. All right. Well, W plays yesterday. W sharp report. W squad rides. But we're not going to sit up here and celebrate and act like we're kings after the last couple of weeks of plays that we've had. Okay, so we're going to lock back in today. We're not getting fat, happy, complacent, and we're going to cash another squad ride. All right, plain and simple. That's the game plan. W's to the OGs in chat. Can we get a little roll call going right now? I want to see who the hell's in here right now after a W squad ride play. Show yourselves. Let me know if you're in the chat. Drop a W, drop a 1, drop a what's up, drop a hey, drop a oi. Whatever you need. I want to see who's in chat right now, who's chilling. Coltrane's Big Cheesy, OG Sour, you know he's in here. We got Rhino Fusion, sure. Tyler Johnson, SF Giants, Brian C, Gents Club Sports, Pax Picks, Aloha Bets. We got Marv Bets in here, W Marv, Slim and Smith, Mike Catherman. Hey, I'm Matt, Dead Larry Birds, Lunch Money Bets. We got a lot of OGs in here, a lot of goats. Oi, we got Pip.
Shout out Mike Catherman. He's got 3 Bookit hats.
Wow. Cop the 3-piece.
W Mike.
He tweeted it. W Mike.
Well, since we're talking about hats right now, Gootsy.
Yep.
You mind dropping the link to the hats? I think we got a couple left.
Absolutely.
We'll drop the link in the Twitch chat. W Aloha Bets coming in, resubbing as well. Let's make it 2 today. Yes, sir. Let's make it 2 today. Not getting fat, happy, complacent, staying locked in, and finding some winners. WSDO plugging in the SeatGeek code as well. He tweeted at me earlier. Said, what's the code, my man? Happy to help. Bookit 10. If you don't have that plugged into your SeatGeek app yet, do it now before you forget. It takes 4 seconds. You click the account button in the bottom right. There's a promo tab right there in the center of the screen that you're going to see. You plug in Bookit 10, and you get 10% off all your future purchases. If you're not putting that code in, I don't know what you're doing. Figure it out. Pega's play should have cashed. They took away a goal. You've got to be kidding me. I was wondering why that was kicked. Rats. That's all right, Pega. You get a pass. You fed us a green gob before on the auto tail, so don't feel bad about it. All right. Need to be fed PP winners today. We're going to talk about prize picks a little bit.
Okay. Shout out Jamie Dixon for number 500. Go. Go. They turned into the
Pax
Warriors
picks.
In the second half. Let's go.
Pax Picks is saying Donovan Dent might have been red. Let me check the Carfax on that. Yeah, I trust the Goots analytics, but look, mistakes happen. Let me take a look out of respect for chat, but let's take a look. Yes, it is PA. And he was Shaq in that game. You're right. W transparency. Okay. That was an L square. Good call. Good call. That's my fault, Goots, for not checking that. That's on me. Either way, though, still a really good day yesterday. Great bounce back day. And we're not getting complacent. We're finding more winners on the slate for a Thursday night. Plain and simple. Before we hop in and talk about winners, Gootsy, do you mind explaining the hat giveaway selfie type sitch one more time for the peeps? Because I feel like they think it's too good to be true. Can you explain this one more time for the peeps?
So it's going to go on for a while. So if you guys buy a hat now and post a picture on the feed in the hat, tag us, you'll get 200 hours in PP coin.
That's a pretty darn good deal. And you could also potentially win. You could also potentially win a free lineup to win even more coins.
Out of the people that get the coin, we'll pick 5 people to put in a lineup to win 5K.
Yep. Okay. If you guys have not taken a selfie, taken a picture in your new Bookit scripted hat and posted it on the feeds, maybe think about doing that today because we need more pictures. We need more posts. Not as many as we thought there'd be already, AKA you have a chance to win some prize picks promo. Get involved. Okay, post some pics. And the hats are fresh as well. And if you guys are in here, if you're OGs, you might want to cop one anyways just because they're fresh and support the squads. Okay? Sock Station is asking the right questions. Can we please retire Banchero 3s? Why don't we just cut the shit and get right into it? Jovan?
No.
Can I bitch about something for a minute?
Yes.
Gutsy, run it. Yeah, that was a shit square. I'll just go ahead and get right to the chase here. That was a shit square. Jovan, it is what it is. Paulo Banchero, I mean, you can't predict the guy to be double covered every time he gets the rock on the three-point arc. And the next thing you know, you see Franz Wagner shooting 10 threes and making like 8 of them. Like 8 out of 10 from 3. It was something I've never seen before. They were feeding the guy. It was never Paulo. You were right about the moose shit three-point defense. But I also want to get this on record. I've never seen a team get to the rack with as much ease as the Magic did in that game as well. Their shitty guards were driving like it was nothing. So clearly they changed something up on defense there. And even when they went to a zone, Jovan, like you'd expect some more threes to come. And I saw them go to a zone, and I'm like, all right, we got some life here.
It was the worst zone I've ever seen.
I've never seen a worse defense.
I saw that too, and I was like, okay, let's see what they do here. And it was like a zone without actually trying to keep them away from the rim.
It was wide open layups is what it was. Yeah. It was wide open layups. And every offensive possession was either a wide open layup to the rack or a swish from Franz Wagner behind the three-point arc. It was insane. And the next thing you know, it's a blowout, and he's not playing full minutes. So to be honest with you, the numbers were skewed too, Jovan. I mean, he had a full court 3 before the half.
Yeah, he only shot
like he had more attempts.
2 real ones.
Just not a good play.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do now? Right, we're here. You know, we took the double bagel. It didn't hit. We took the triple bagel. It didn't hit. Now we're sitting here after 3-4 straight days of cake, and they have a square up there again. Jovan, you want to take it again?
Yeah, I will be taking it again. There's no system part of it, and everybody in the chat is making me really want to put a lot of units on it because I'm in. He had a good game too. It was the first good game he had in a while.
He did have 100%. A good game.
We'll talk about that. It's not on the Sharp Report, but it's technically like a part of the same approach. But we're taking it again. Absolutely, we're involved, and it's not even double bagel. People didn't say anything when the double triple bagels went 9 in a row, but now they've lost 2 Palos in a row. There's a lot of peeps out there.
I know.
Isn't even a part of that, but we will be back tonight. I will invite anybody in chat to take his less than or take his under if you're taking on the books and DM me the slip. I would love to see it. Even the VIP Discord cappers that are leaking in chat too. Anybody, I will invite you.
Yeah, I won't be taking it today. I'm done. I'm giving up.
I don't ask anybody to.
Might be a good thing. Might be a good thing. Just let it splooge in silence. Okay. Chat, it is what it is. I would not recommend personally doubling down. It does not work. It's bit me in the ass a ton of times. But if Jovan wants to go back and stand on business and take him one more time, he's taking him one more time. And it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're putting $10,000 on it, right? It's not like you're putting $1,000 on it.
No.
You'll take it like a normal square and you go about your day. Okay. We'll see how it plays out. I'm curious to see how it plays out, and I'm rooting for you. And what do you know? He's minus 125 on DK again, just like he was last night. And then before the game, I checked. I checked before the game last night, and it flipped to minus 120 to the under, and I literally lost all feeling in my body on the couch for about 2 minutes. And then he proceeded to be a moose shit 3-point shooter in that game. I don't think the odds matter too much, but I mean, last night it did. But also, he's just on a cold streak, so we'll see how long it lasts, right? Paulo, we know he's better than this, but after a good game last night, I mean, he was getting his on the interior. That's for damn sure.
That honestly
plenty of mid-ranges.
Well, it makes me feel a little bit better about it because now I feel like he started to get going a little bit. So I'm down with that. Plus, it is certainly not Chris Paul. It's a huge 3 to cut the lead to 42 vibes. I've taken it twice. People are acting like I flipped the guy for 3 straight weeks. 2 times. Dude.
Yeah.
Relax.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens and how it plays out tonight because luckily we don't have to wait around for this one. He does get back out there on the floor tonight. Okay.
He does.
Let's move on from Paolo and W tweet from Mikey bitching about him as well. I mean, he just does not respect coins. Paolo.
No. He did get his points though late night. that last. I don't know why he came back in for that little short stint, but he did, and he got it.
I don't know why he was playing in the fourth either, but weird. All right. Let's keep moving to groove and chat. Enough bitching about Polo. Let's move on to some winners for tonight. We got BJ Cheek coming in, resubbing for 10 months as well. Love to see that. You're WBJ Cheek. We appreciate you, Beast. All right. Let's talk about some winners for today. Let's hop in. Let's talk about the Sharp Report. Let's go over our favorite plays, favorite straight bets as we get a subby coming in from the Curfew Life 187. W Curfew Life. Appreciate you, Beast. All right. Cali plays tonight. Dead Larry Bird, I know you got all the weird ball sack state Cali teams. Just let me know what we're taking late night.
Need that today.
But for now, we got to talk about the best game of the day. I'll get right to it. Jovan, I hope you're joining me on this journey, but I understand if you're not. Ohio State favorites at home against Maryland. We talked about it a little bit on TMA, and Mikey was spitting facts. I mean, the Terps look like the team we thought they could be before the season. Kevin Willard's coaching for his life. They have a potential lottery pick in the paint, Derek Queen. That certainly helps. They steal the best player on the Hokies, who comes over and plays pretty good guard as well, Rodney Rice. This team is pretty fucking solid, the Terps. They're playing good ball right now. They've ripped off 4 straight wins. They're ranked again. Jovan, it's about that time to fade the Terps, though. Coming off of 4 straight wins, in Ohio State, who has looked better of late. I know they're coming off a loss, but overall, they played better basketball over the last month or so. And they hung around against Illinois in that game. Didn't cover, blew it late, but I mean, that game was close for the entirety of it. I'll back Ohio State here in this spot as a favorite against the Terps, who I'm simply willing to fade with their 3rd straight, road game. I don't think they're winning 3 in a row. I don't think they're winning 3 road games in a row. They've won their last 2 road games after everybody said they're incapable of doing it. They beat Indiana on the roads. They beat Illinois on the roads. And then after those 2 games, they just, spanked with Wisconsin and took care of business there at home. Now they head back to the roads. Jovan, I don't think they win 3 road games in a row. I still think this team struggles when they're away from College Park overall. And I think it's a great fade spot back in the Buckeyes at home as favorites.
Man, I would love to say I just am fully off and leaving Ohio State as a favorite in 2024, but I don't know if I have that option today. We also have an auto tail from BJ Higgy on Rockets ML, by the way. Can't let that get swept. Can't let it get swept.
Yeah,
we're tapping in.
Rockets ML?
Yeah, Rockets ML. I think they're like -1 against the T-Wolves on the road.
They flipped from a dog to a fave. I know that.
Yeah.
Did they play last night too, or just Minnesota?
I think just them. Or just the T-Wolves.
I mean, maybe that's why we're getting some steam towards Houston.
Yeah,
right?
would assume so.
Okay. 4 straight losses for the Rockets. That's a pretty sharp auto tail. B. Joe Higgy coming in. He's feeling pretty good about it. We'll tail it. I'll throw $100 on the Rockets on the ML -120. Okay. 0.4 units. I'll tail like I did with Pega's Place on the pitch. Let me lock this in.
Let's go.
Before I forget. Rockets -120.
I'm sure. Okay, I'm going
Wolves
2 units.
Will be dog of day. Wow.
2 units.
Rockets. All right, I just locked it in. Rockets money line -120. Okay. W auto tail redemption. We appreciate you, B. Joe Higgy. All right. Hopefully this puppy cashes. Jovan, let's go to your straight bets. I want to see what you're crafting up today.
Yeah. 1 sec. I'm locking in the Rockets real quick after Trenches said he's having dog of day on the Wolves. All right. I'm in. Jacksonville State is what I'm going with. First play here up against Middle Tennessee State. I assume you might have took a peep at that game, maybe a peek at that line, Krabs. But this is weird because Jacksonville State's like really gotten going as of lately. They've started to play so much better, and now they get to play a rematch of the Middle Tennessee game that kind of sparked it all, because they've really been rolling pretty much since that game. They've won a handful of games in a row, and that game where they got beat by 17 was kind of the culmination of everything they were in the season to this point, where they really struggled at pretty much every level. They shot horrendous from the 3-point line, 4 of 15. They got out-rebounded for a majority of the game, eventually fought back in that department and made it better. But They really struggled to defend like everything Middle Tennessee threw at them. And since then, they've kind of flipped around their lineup. They started to play better ball. They started defending a lot better. The offenses look so much smoother. And now they get their second crack at it at home as a short favorite. And even though they've been playing so much better after the way that first game went, where, they got destroyed and they were hanging 6.5 on the road at that game, I expected maybe a little more respect for Middle Tennessee State here, especially because they have a little bit of that name value because we've seen them have really good teams in the conference in the past, but not exactly getting that. So I think this is the spot where Jacksonville State gets their lick back and stays hot.
Do I love the Middle Tennessee State's coming in limping and Jacksonville State is on fuego? Obviously not, but I do like fade Middle Tennessee State, and I do think that's some respect for Jacksonville State here at home against a team they've already lost by 20 points to only a couple weeks ago. So that I can get behind, and I see what you're talking about here with Jacksonville State. They've looked like a much sharper squads in recent weeks. Wouldn't be surprised if they end up making a run in that conference.
Yeah, has to be done.
All right. Gucci, go ahead and swing it back around. I got a couple more straight bets for the peeps today. Let's get to it. Let's talk about these winners. I'm taking Drexel on the ML. This one hurts because I don't like fading William & Mary. I got a soft spot in my heart for this school, a small Virginia school that is having one heck of a season. I mean, they're undefeated at home. They're on a crazy streak at home this year. They were on ESPN. Scott Van Pelt was gassing them up the other night after a game winner. This team has been great so far this season. Great story. The Tribe, Mikey Overs, he kind of, scoped it out before the season and said, this is going to be my wagon. And it's really panned out very well. I'm impressed. But tonight is when you finally see the Tribe drop one here, Jovan, on the roads. They head to Drexel, a team that's not great, a team that's 12-11, a team that's been treading water of late. They've covered 3 of their last 5, but they've only won 2 of their last 5 games. And they're coming in off of back-to-back losses. They gave up over 100 points to Monmouth. And then they gave up only 55 points to Towson. Their defense locked in, but then they can only score 54 points. And they lost in a 1-point, really close game against Towson on the roads. I saw enough, though, against that Towson team and a really good defense on the road where I'm comfortable backing Drexel after a couple L's in a row and fading William & Mary. It's a mandatory fade spot. After this team is getting slurped on ESPN, people are talking about their crazy streak at home. Well, now they head to the roads, and they got to go head up to Philly and play Drexel. And Drexel's catching steam, and they're up to -2.5 now on the spreads. I'll take them on the ML after they lost 3 of their last 4, and I'll fade William & Mary, the Tribe, on their legacy run.
Sure. Count me in. Fading that incredible Linsanity run William & Mary squad.
Yep. Has to be done. What else are you cooking up over there?
I had to go to this over. I really didn't have a choice in the Pacers-Clippers game after the way those two offenses, I know if you're talking about the Clippers specifically, I mean, defensively, they couldn't do anything, but offensively, they were in a box in that game against the Lakers, and the Pacers, which you can't say this very often. I think it's only happened 2 other times this year. They got held under 100 points as well. So both these teams failed to score triple digits in their last game, looked awful at every single level. You had Tyrese Halliburton blowing free squares because he literally got bageled because he was in something that was probably tougher than the torture chamber at this point, in the Tumani Kamara Volt or whatever you want to call it. One of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA, if not the best. But he had him in a box. The whole team was in a box. They looked horrible at every level. And now they go back. The Clippers obviously just got embarrassed by the Lakers. You hate to see that if you're a crosstown rival. You'd think they bounce back. I think the bounce back's got to come offensively, if anything. And the Pacers, it's a perfect spot for them, especially after they got held to their worst offensive output of the season. Run with the Clippers because you don't want to get stuck with them in the half court. They're a great defensive team. We all know this. Now they're fully healthy, so they really have time to show it. And again, they got blitzed by the Lakers. The Lakers, that was like one of the few games where you really didn't know what to expect from the Lakers. Obviously, a lot of us, myself included, thought it's going to be a little better effort from the Clippers, but we didn't see it. Very confusing. Great game plan by JJ Redick at every single level. Now the Pacers are going to keep the tempo up because that's the one thing that really hurt them in the last game. They weren't able to run as much, so when they had guys in the half court against another team that is sneakily, not only have they been really good as a unit, the Blazers, but they've been one of the greatest defenses in a 10-game stretch in NBA history. It's been absolutely ridiculous. And again, a lot of that's Kamara, who handled Halliburton, which was perfect. But now you play a Clippers team that you're going to have to up the tempo on because If you get stuck in the half court, you're going to be in a box. It's going to be time for Halliburton to have a little better of a game facilitating the guys like, I don't know, Siakam. You're going to have guys like the Zubac effect is probably going to be the same thing as the Lakers want to do, because you're going to have a stretch big in there like Miles Turner, who you want to space the floor with, which opens up the floor for everything. So I think not only is it a little weird to see the total slightly inching up after both teams had just horrendous offensive games, but I think for the Pacers especially, stay in this game, you got to be fast. So I'm leaning into that a little bit.
Okay. Late night over. Pacers and Clippers. I'm in. Fat Girls is in chat. He's gassing up this over. He's saying if you like the over, you got to like Harden, who's coming off one of his worst games of the season. You agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because I don't think Zubac is going to get played off the floor necessarily, but I feel like there could be some counter offensively like the Clippers come out with. So like I don't know whether I want to attack Harden facilitating, or I know he's coming off a terrible shooting game, but I feel like he can be aggressive in all ways. I'm just very unsure of what like the Pacers are going to throw at them on defense. So like I like Harden. I just didn't know if I wanted to go to the grave with one specific angle.
Okay. All right. Let's swing it back around, Goots. I got one more straight bet for the peeps. Let's talk about it. Might be the nastiest one yet. How about Long Island? Anybody ever heard of that school? There's probably people in here who haven't, to be honest with you. How about LIU? Not to be confused with LIU Brooklyn. A couple schools up there. But this is LIU. The Sharks were back in here on the road as favorites against Wagner. Big and bad Franz Wagner. Yep, we're fading him. Who's plus 1.5 here at home in this spot. 12-10 Wagner, who's been playing okay. They've ripped off 3 wins in their last 5. This Wagner team has been solid over the years. Decent program. They've even gone to the tournament. But they're not covering. They're 7-11 against the spread this season. LIU has not been winning, but they've been covering. But unfortunately for them, that streak is kind of, stopped a little bit here. They've lost 4 in a row. They have not covered 5 games in a row, but they're still 13-10 against the spread on the season. This team has been playing like shit of late. In the beginning of the season, they showed flashes of being okay. I think we see that team from earlier this season return this afternoon. Looking at this spread flip from a dog to a favorite, there's no reason why this LIU team should be a favorite on the road in this spot against a team who's above 500 in Wagner, a team who's been in the tournament in recent years in Wagner. I have no idea why LIU's a favorite here on the road in this spot, and I am 1-0 betting LIU this season. Let's make it 2-0.
Wow. 1-0 and LIU bets might be the difference for me, Krabs.
Yeah, and I bet them about 3 weeks ago when they were in a sharp spot like this as well, when they flipped to a favorite and they paid. So let's hope they do the same thing tonight.
Would love that. Would absolutely love that. All right.
Fade and Wagner. Franz Wagner.
Has
Still
to be
having
done.
fucking beachfront in my brain, dudes. I cannot believe what we just watched in that game last night. So I'm still pissed. Jovan, one more straight bet for the Papes. Let's talk about it.
Been a while since I've had 2 teams coming off a shutout, Krabs, but you got it here tonight in Minnesota. Yeah, needed one of these. Been a bit, like I said, but Canes Wild tonight. Gross over. On paper, it's looking tough. Not only are both these teams coming off of shutouts, and I know the Canes one against the Jets was a little odd because that game on both sides, I think, had disallowed goals. They looked a lot better than I think the final score would indicate on that 3-0. But if you're the Wild, who are not only coming off of 1 shutout, but 2 straight shutouts, they've looked even worse. Not just the 6-0 shutout against the Sens, but they also went to Boston and looked absolutely pitiful in everything in that game. So this is, I think, the perfect spot for the Wild specifically to come back and at least show some life, which I don't think will be helpful for them in the end. I think it'll come with goals, but I also think defensively it's going to leave them a little more susceptible. And they've been dealing with 15,000 different injuries, which is just kind of the useless tax of what the Wild always are year in, year out. You got a lot of old guys. They got guys at the top that can't stay healthy. So it's kind of the story of the season. We knew this is always how it was going to play out for the Wild, but they have to come out aggressive. This is a pretty mandatory spot coming back home after 2 straight shutouts to close out your road trip. Nobody wants to do that. So they got to come out fast in this game, which I think is going to work initially, but then the Canes are kind of going to lock in and be aggressive. And as the game rolls on, like it tends to be when they go on the road against a lot of these, I don't know, more beat up, more injured teams, I think they're going to break them down. I think that can only end in goals. So obviously I love the teams coming off a shutout, or in the Wild's case, multiple of them, but I think it kind of works in the game script for it too.
Okay. This is a system I can get behind today. fuck the double bagel system. Get that out of my brain. And let's bring in a system that has treated us, knock on wood, fairly well during the hockey season. The old backing it over after a couple shutouts trick. One of the oldest tricks in the book. Jovan, I'm so in. I've been waiting for one of these plays.
Yeah, this one's like 15 different things with shutouts topped on the other, because you got two teams off of a shutout. The Wild, they're offering multiple shutouts. And then on the Cane side, I think when they played, maybe it was just over a month ago, that game also had a shutout in it. And I think it was the Wild or the Canes. It was like 3-0, 4-0.
Huh. Yeah, Wild shut him out 4-0.
Yeah, there's everything in this.
I'm assuming you think it's the Canes who are probably carrying the weight here a little bit, up to minus 190. That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't really figured out what that steam is for. The only reason why I still have like hope for it being more so the Wild is because I think they have to come out and be aggressive early, and because the one part that does make sense. I mean, Fleury's come out with some really good performances in his little farewell tour last game in Montreal. After that, he followed it up looking good for the most part of the game. But the one goalie that's been absolutely horrendous is the one that's in net for them tonight, I believe, in Gustafsson. So I think he's the one who got lit up in Ottawa. I think it was in Ottawa last start. It was like 6-0. So I do think they can score some goals and take the weight off him a little bit.
Okay. Maybe the Wild score first, and then we see Carolina more of a second half type team.
Yeah.
Ship Bets coming in asking the questions we need to know. Did Krabs get his cheese yesterday? No cheese yesterday because, the plays were hitting last night, but I will reward myself with some cheese today when I heat up the leftovers. Delicious meal.
Is that is that the staple meal for like weeks now? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in shape. Right? Trying to train the body up and get that mind feeling fresh, feeling sharp, and the winters just start flowing. I've just been eating pretty unhealthy over the last couple months, and I want to lock in. And this is what I did post-COVID, post-college, when I was getting close to 300 pounds. I locked in. I literally started eating ground turkey and rice and ground turkey and vegetables. And next thing I knew, the weight literally just fell off. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. And very disciplined. So I want to bring that back a little bit, right? The winter's closing out here. We got the summer approaching, like Dead Larry Bird saying in chat, bikini season coming up. So gotta make sure I'm locked in. Ground turkey works wonders, folks. W protein, tastes like shit. So make sure you have some seasoning or some sauce, right? But that shit works. So I usually do like 2 small meals. I do one like either before BTL or if super busy, I'll do both in the afternoon. But 2 a day, and you portion control that puppy, and that's all you eat for that day. And next thing you know, you look like The Rock. See how it goes. See how long it takes, Draco. All right. And that mumbo sauce is unbelievable.
What's up with that? You literally got a restaurant bottle mumbo sauce in the house, man.
Bro, they sell those in the Giants, like the grocery stores around us up here. They sell the bottles. I might have to bring down a bottle for the squads, because I got an extra one for Christmas. Maybe I bless you guys and bring one down on the flight later today. I'll leave that at the house. All right, let's stay locked in. Enough talking about ground turkey. We got winners to talk about here, folks. And Richie Parlay, no Old Bay on that. It came with some taco seasoning that I was using. So let's lock in and talk about some prize pick squares. All right, we talked about some straight bets. Jovan, I'm loving those overs. I'm loving those plays. I got to play on the ice. We'll stay on the ice here. More than 2.5 goals allowed for Nico Dawes tonight. I don't know if you've checked out that chart. I don't know if you've checked out that square, but earlier today, it was the only square up in that category, and looks like it still is right now. Sure, no profile picture, no problem. But if you look at the guy's stats and check out how he's been playing, Jovan, this guy's been on his heads. He's been cracked out in the net. He hasn't given up more than 2 goals in his last 5 games. He's been playing well, but from what I've heard, this guy is not really a great goalie. He's just been playing great, and I think this could be a good spot to maybe fade him as we see VGK catch like 10 cents of steam on the ML. I think that's a great sign for some goals. And I think this more than 2.5 is maybe the nastiest square on prize picks for tonight. I'm loving it.
For sure nasty. VGK has been just offensively brutal to watch at times. And I know the Devils are it's worked out well for them in the past, but they're testing out, I think, not testing out, but they got some new D pairings that they're putting up there today. So we'll see how that works with Nico on a roll, having some new defensemen in front of him. So that'll be interesting. I like the square.
Yeah, I love the square. We'll see how it ends up playing out, but very, very Reds. I feel like nobody's probably taken that more than besides us. And that's the spot I want to be in. Okay. I got another one. Julian Reese, less than 13.5 points. Didn't have the stones to fade Derek Queen, Jovan, but I will certainly fade Julian Reese in this game against Ohio State. If the Buckeyes want to win, right, like they're favorites on the ML, and I'm definitely taking them, probably favorite play today. If the Buckeyes win today, they got to find a way to slow down the two bigs on the Terps. And sure, they're going to have some trouble slowing down Derek Queen. Everybody is. That guy's a top 10 pick in the NBA draft, or at least he should be, in my opinion. But I will say, Julian Reese, this guy is going to get his lunch money taken down there in the paint by Zed Key and some of these other bigs on Ohio State. This team is physical. This team is tough. I know they don't have like a 7'3" guy, but this team is thick. Like they got some size. They can compete with a physical Maryland team, especially down low. Not many teams have two better bigs than what Maryland's rolling out there. But if anybody can hang around, I think it's this physical Ohio State team. Even the guards like Thornton are pretty tough and pretty stocky. So they can hang around with this Maryland team. And personally, I just want to fade Julian Reese in the spots. Couldn't do it with Derek Queen. I think he could end up actually grubbing and coming through for this team and keeping a minute. But Julian Reese is softer than baby shit. I'll fade him, hopefully going against Zed Key tonight, taking his less than points, while I'm also fading the Terps.
Sure. Always down to fade Julian Reese. Dude is just like his, what are they, brother and sister?
They are brother and sister. Nobody talks about that. Shit, Zed Key's on Dayton. That's not who I was fucking talking about. I was talking about Royal.
Devin Royal.
I was talking about Royal. I know he went to Dayton. Snacks. Hop off my Johnson. Okay. Devin Royal. 6'6", plays like he's 6'9". Good enough. Bradshaw, Stewart, good enough. Bradshaw's got some size. He can hang around. All right. Way to keep me honest, Snacks. Saving the world. All right. Jovan, let's go to your prize pick squares and see what you're cooking up over there. No way we're going back to Zubox.
Going back to Zubox.
Oh my
More importantly, on the bottom of the screen here, you can pretend like this is two squares because KCP and Paulo together. Same thing. Same deal as last night. I'm taking the both of them. But Zubac, he kind of got played off the floor in the Lakers game, but part of it was him actually not being able to keep up, but also it was a really good plan by JJ Redick. They were kind of keeping him super, super deep. They were posting or not letting him post up far from the rim. So he was getting like right under the rim, and they continued to push him towards the baseline, which was great because then he couldn't do anything on the offensive boards, and on the defensive boards, they put multiple bodies on him. The Pacers can't really afford to do that. So like as much as you would think they'd want to duplicate that, especially if they're going to be running a little more in transition, they physically can't. So again, that's one that I will pay to find out. But I think on the boards too, they're going to come back with a really good plan here, especially if they're letting him space the floor on the defensive side, because Zubac is not great at getting out to the perimeter, which is probably a problem for Miles Turner, but he's always kind of lurking back towards the hoop for those rebounds. So I think this is a game where he gets back kind of to his roots against a team that's not as small as some of the teams that he's faced, and he's gotten like lower minutes in the last handful of games, but the teams that are a lot less physical are the ones that he dominates, and this is another situation like that today, so I'm taking his boards. I think he's going to have a really good game all around. I don't know if I trust the points a lot because I think Kawhi is going to have a good game, and again, I think this game could be played more in transition than their past handful of games, so I just went with the boards.
Okay.
And then the two-piece here of KCP playing against his old team. First time I believe he's playing in Denver. So I love that coming off the finals. But now he gets a team that's just been bleeding spot up. Obviously, like Jokic is a defensive hole, black hole in the middle. So you always want to attack a lot of centers there. But they've also been bleeding. If you look at the handful of games in the last month or so, spot up shooters have killed them. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has had plenty of volume in the first game they played in Orlando. I don't see that changing here, especially if it does end up being, I'm hoping it's not Paulo, but Magic are on a back-to-back. I can only assume, just like you kind of figured something was happening with the Cavs yesterday, you get somebody out, and I know he got added to the injury report a little late, so maybe it's him, who knows, but if he does play, he's going to put up some shots in this game. He's going to have the matchup, and then the guy that's next to him in Paulo Banchero is also going to hit 2 threes, so we make out 3 from KCP and 2 from Paulo, and that's where we go.
Oh, gosh. Okay. KCP. No ankle monitor in sight. Not this year.
No.
People forget. I mean, that's just one of the craziest things that nobody talks about. He was playing games with an ankle monitor on. I'm in for KCP, and I love the Zubac angle in this game, especially looking at that chart. Last couple of games has not been him. He probably turns into prime Shaq tonight. Let's just hope that I know you like the over in that game. Let's just hope there's a couple misses or enough for him to grab 13 boards, right? Plenty of shots in that game. Should be plenty of opportunities. All right. KCP, I'm always down to take KCP as well. I don't know why, but I'm a fan. I think it's because he was on the Wizards for a little bit.
Random Krabs guy.
I'm a fan of his game. And Dalton Varsho in play runs. You guys just cannot wait for baseball in the chat, huh? You guys cannot wait. And then the other half of you guys is like, I do not want baseball here at all. It's like both ends of the spectrum, right?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much everybody after they find out for a month you can't just take Astros Dodgers every day.
Yeah.
Everybody likes it until we're in June, July, and we're taking Rockies team totals. And it's really the
predictions on where Alex Bregman ends up. Where do you think he goes?
Dude, I have no clue. I don't know why he's standing on the 6 to 7 year deal thing.
Because he wants to cash in and not give a fuck, or try, or have to work for another deal. He wants to cash in.
I mean, I know from the financial side, obviously. I'm just saying, like, for him, I feel like kind of heading out in his career, you want to find a really good situation where maybe you take a little bit of a pay cut. It's like I figured at this point where it's February 6th, you would have gotten there already.
Yeah. Well, you know who his agent is. He's taking his sweet time. He's got Boris.
Yeah, which again, I would have figured that he learned his lesson after last offseason, but no.
You know who I've been hearing a lot of this year as a breakout candidate? A ton on my feed. Honestly, probably a little bit too much. This probably isn't good for our goat. Heard a lot of Matt Wallner slurpage on my feed for this upcoming season. People are pretty hyped. You know,
his
Matt
numbers
Wallner
are like ridiculous. Like the reason we were taking him a lot because he either whiffs or hits the ball ridiculously hard.
Right.
So like baseball analytics love those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he got sent down to the minors early on last season because he was playing so bad. Then he got called up, and next thing you know, he hits a home run every game he plays in. It was unbelievable. It's a crazy stretch last year. Let's hope he can replicate it. Right, good?
Yeah.
I have a question I want to ask chat for the baseball guys. I have my draft here soon for the rookies. Would you draft Chase Burns or Hagen Smith? I know who I'm taking, but I want to see what chat says. Wow. A lot of Smith.
Yeah, some Smith love. Yeah. Who are you taking? Chase Burns?
Taking Chase Burns. If he's there.
What pick do you have?
6. I have 6 and 8.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm so stoked for baseball. We're so close, folks. Let's finish up football, though, before we start daydreaming about baseball. All right, we got shit to do. Jovan, W squares. Love that. Love both those squares for me in the NBA. Before we take a trip to the hardwoods or the ice, whatever you prefer, Jovan, I'll let you pick. You want to talk a little bit about the pod that we did yesterday? Let people know about it. We'll drop the link in the chat. Okay, if you guys want to check out this pods, maybe this is something you guys can watch later today. I don't think we have a surge today unless we have Ravington stepping up. I'm sure we'll hear.
Not a Trent surge. I know Rav's active, so we got surge.
Let's go, Rav.
Rare W's.
So maybe after surge, if you guys are looking for something to do this afternoon, maybe looking for something to listen to at the gym, maybe you got to go to the grocery store and stack up, put your ear pods in, listen to the pods. All right, it's about an hour long. Not the longest one we've done, but plenty of content, plenty of winners. We talk a little bit about, Super Bowl traditions at the beginning. We talk a little bit about, stuff we love betting on and, Goots' dips a little bit towards the beginning. We talk about best bets, prize pick squares, anytime touchdown scorers, and some cheeky props as well. They got plenty of options up for this game. For the books, this is their biggest day of the year, right? We talk about some of these novelty props that are up on a couple of the books. Check out the pods. Give it a listen this afternoon. If you don't mind, click the YouTube video. We'll drop the link one more time in the chat and drop a like on that video. It helps more than you guys know. It helps more than you guys know. Okay? Chaco coming in, resubbing as well. W Chaco. Let's fucking go, Chaco. Chaco, is it the Caps tonight or they kick on the Reds? I've just been waiting for the Caps to fall apart. I've been waiting for the Caps to slow down, Jovan, and they just really haven't done it yet. And now they're probably fucked.
It'll probably
After
be
I
like
just said
that.
But
you know what's going to happen? They're going to be fantastic until the end of the season.
Until it matters.
Going into the playoffs, they're going to be cold, and then it's going to be dead in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep. Chaco said if Lindgren is in, they're probably cake, but I can't fade. Good man. Nurkic to Chicago? Bruh. Charlotte, excuse me.
Yeah.
What is Charlotte building over there? What are they doing?
I mean, I guess it's just an older Mark Williams, pretty much. It's not as great on offense.
I guess they need a center now. Yeah. Okay.
The Hornets are in the middle of a rebuild, and they just keep sending themselves back further. I don't understand it.
What are they doing, bro?
I really don't get it.
I don't get it.
They get Dalton Knecht, though. So, I mean, there's not going to be a single stop made on that team for years.
All right. Well, we're talking about the Caps a little bit here. Jovan, you got any thoughts on that game?
I mean, not really. They kind of look like the easiest bet on the board, but I guess they always do. So you got to pick your spots with them. So I'm not running to it.
Okay. Anything else on the ice? It's looking at you kind of funny. We got a decent amount of games.
Yeah, not particularly. Kind of weaning towards the break here. So I'm a little more picky. Not really dying for anything here.
Okay. What about VGK catching some steam after 4 straight L's? I know we talked about that game a little bit when I went over that square, but can you get behind a Vegas ML play?
I can get behind it. I'm not in love with it because I think the little bit of the move, I guess, probably has to do with the fact that Nico Dawes is starting. You know, you got a goalie with two starts on the season coming in against a VGK team that I think everybody thinks will get right at some point. And now you got a new defenseman in front of him too. I don't know, pairs that have worked in the past, but we'll see how it translates now. So, I mean, I like VGK, but not in love with it.
Okay. Did you think that was some respect for Utah up to minus 155 on the roads? I know Columbus isn't great, but they're 5 games over 500. They got a better record. Both teams have not been playing great lately, though.
Yeah, and I know the Blue Jackets did just beat them in that game. We had the +1.5. That was their last win, but now they're getting quite more injured. Marchenko broke his jaw. So, I mean, he's not their best player, but he's my favorite player. But they are also missing a guy who probably should be getting a lot of MVP buzz. So, I mean, the Jackets are super shorthanded right now. So it's if there's any, I guess, with Lindgren and net, maybe I'd tip cap to the Caps and say this probably looks like the easiest little short-ish favorite on the board.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it looks respectful at all, really.
Yeah. I mean, if Columbus's 2 of their best players are out and they just recently got hurt, it makes a little bit more sense why Utah's catching steam up to minus 155. So I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on Utah there. Okay. Ottawa, Tampa, any lightning report from you today?
Well, they just beat them. This is one of those, I don't know if we have any of these on the slate, but same location, rematch of the game those 2 days ago. Lightning won, but really didn't have any business winning. They played awful, but now they're in the same situation. Ottawa's a little banged up. I guess the Lightning are too because Cirelli's out, so they're going to have some movement. So, I mean, I lean Ottawa, but not going to get invested there. There is some weird squares up because of the movement on the Lightning side, though. They got Nick Paul for SCGs. I love that. Be taking that, but nothing in the game.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. You like that Carolina, Minnesota over 5.5 system play that we talked about earlier? Florida's up to minus 170 on the road against St. Louis. St. Louis has not been playing great of late, but I know they steal coins, so not sprinting to lay a minus 170 against them. But do you lean Florida there with that line?
I probably do just because I don't want to bet the Blues, but again, this is
Yeah.
like the most Blues have no business winning scenario, even though you have, I think, Spencer Knight in net for the Panthers, but the Blues just are desolate right now. So they're
Yep.
going to win one of these games, especially because they've been, I think, I know the Oilers game that they should have won. Oilers had no business winning that game. Their last game was at home. I think the other one was on the road against the Avs. It's very similar type situations. They're going to win one of these games. I just have no inkling to figure out which one that is.
Okay. This is a pretty good hockey slate, like Billy the Kid saying in chat. I'll be honest. A lot of, MLs within minus
Yeah.
200s, a lot of close-ish money lines, a lot of good teams playing each other today.
If all these teams were fully healthy, this slate would be next level, like incredible.
Pretty banged up squads at this point, heading into the break.
Yeah, that's why it's a little tricky to pick out some spots. I'm not running to nuke the entire slate.
Okay. All right. Do you guys want to come on Sweats tonight to watch Trent? I mean, Rav, I would love to hop on. I just might not be getting to the cribbo until around 10 local time, 9:30 local time. But happy to sit in the chair with you if you're running it. Okay.
Yeah, I might be geeked.
All right, that's okay. Yeah, Rav, just text me, bro. All right, couple other hockey plays. Toronto, Seattle. Looks like Toronto is minus 160 on the road against the Kraken, who've lost 4 of their last 5. Thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I got nothing for you, Krabs. I'll land minus 160 with the Leafs on the road in Seattle. Probably not. I don't know if many people would like to, but I'm definitely good.
Okay. All right. Vancouver and San Jose late night. Any plays in that game?
Yeah, no. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought the Sharks might be a look if that line gets steamed under minus 200 for Vancouver, but not really sprinting to play it.
Yeah.
Vancouver's had their number of late. They've won 4 of the last 5 games against them, and they're coming off of a 3-0 win. I think the Sharks are a solid look, but if you just tell me that they're actually that bad, then I'll move on.
I mean, they are actually that bad, but as much as the Canucks, I don't know, have beat them recently at least. I mean, the Sharks usually always play them tough. It's never a blowout minus, I think, one game. That was a handful ago. So, I mean, they play them tough, especially in the Shark Tank, but I can't do it right before the break.
All right. We got Fuzzy Mangoes coming in chat asking 3 times this question, which I never thought I would expect in my entire life. This is why we play the game, folks. Krabs, when are we making the Mount a Mega Max nuclear Super Bowl coin building whale?
Wow.
That's a great question, Fuzzy Mangoes. Are you an alumni of the Mount? Also,
he's got to have some relation.
I got to ask. You got to have some sort of family member attend, or you must have attended as well. Let me know.
While we're talking Super Bowl Mega Maxes, I did see Shelly posted him and Trent's collab. Collab format.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see if they switched up like 40 times. I was popping in and out of the stream, so I assume what I thought is what they ended on, but I need to take a peep at that for sure.
I would love to flash that on the screen at the end of BTL.
Yeah.
And take a look at it. Fuzzy Mangoes played baseball at the Mount. So did my pops back in the day. Very cool. And my pitching coach, although I wasn't a pitcher in high school, but pitching coach went there. I don't know if you know Brady Feigl, Fuzzy Mangoes, but he actually made his MLB debut a couple months ago. Great story. I think I brought that up on here and talked about that. Remember the lefty on the Pirates that I was slurping for getting an appearance and he gave up like 10 runs in that game last season? You guys remember that? Yeah, that was my fucking high school baseball coach. As my camera starts moving when I put my hands up. Yeah, that was my high school baseball coach, Brady Feigl. Met him once at a camp. Fuck yeah, dude. Pretty cool. All right.
3 hours of crafting to get to Saquon rushing yards is crazy.
I mean, I'm not fading it, but I certainly would if I had to take something on that square.
That had to be Trent Square. Had to be.
All right. We went over the hockey plays. I want to ask you about the rest of the NBA slate, Jovan. Enough talking about the Mount, enough talking about the Super Bowl lineup. Okay. Flatwoods fella coming in, giving Fuzzy Mangoes a subby. Let's go. Blessing up the Mountaineers. Love to see that. Okay. Hell yeah. Love to see the Mountaineers getting involved in chat. Gosh, man. I got to get up there and see a game. Hey, big game tonight for the Mount. We'll talk about it in a second. Let me ask Jovan about some of these NBA games, though. Let's get to what's important here. All right. I asked you earlier about this Dallas and Celtics game before the show, and your response kind of shocked me. So I want to talk through this game.
Really?
I thought Dallas was getting a little bit of a short line here after everything's went down with AD being questionable in this game still. When I asked you about it, your reaction made it seem like you thought that spread was actually a little fat. Am I incorrect?
It's not that I thought it was fat necessarily, but I mean, if AD does end up playing and the Celtics, I know they just beat the Cavs, but like other than that, they've lost countless games where they've been double-digit favorites. Like they're just minus 11 against the Sixers, who are also a desolate team. And I don't know. I was a little surprised maybe to see double digits by the Mavs name, but I guess that'll hinge a little bit on Anthony Davis's status. I'm not looking to take the Mavs personally.
Yeah. I don't know. My brain saw this after obviously Luka gets traded, and they've had a couple games in between there, but this team has not won a game since then. Obviously, they got destroyed by the Cavs, the day after it happened, and everybody was trying to get sharp on the Mavs there in that spot. Didn't pay out.
Yeah,
they did cover against the Sixers.
They're missing that Cavs game. They you want to know who they started at center, Krabs?
I know. They ruled out all their players. They gave him a day off. I remember.
Kylor Kelly, surely that is a real player.
All right, so that game doesn't count then. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, if you take that game out, I mean, they covered against the 76ers, which is maybe the weirdest team ever as well. And they kept that game close without Luka in their first real test, I guess. Maybe it's not as weird then if you take out that Cavs game. Maybe I'm, looking too much on the surface level here, but I saw the Mavs catching steam down from 12 to 10, and I thought that was not nearly enough points against the best team in the NBA, the Celtics. I know they're not playing like the best team in the NBA. I know they don't have the best record in the NBA, but come on, it's the Celtics here. They're at home. Kyrie plays like quail shit every time he goes back there and plays them at home. I thought that was short, but might be wrong.
Yeah, maybe you can argue it's a little short if it stays there and AD gets ruled out. I wouldn't hate you for that. If he gets ruled in, though, I think it's a little bit of the opposite.
All right. Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening there with AD potentially making debut. They're saying Saturday, get the napkin saying, unlikely to play tonight. Kind of what I assumed. We'll see what happens with that spread once it's official. Okay?
Yeah.
Jovan, are you playing anything in Orlando and Denver besides squares?
No. And I really wish the Magic didn't win by 1 million yesterday, because it is maybe a little odd to see them come down from 9-7 on the road on a back-to-back against the Nuggets. So, I was looking at that, and obviously we have multiple squares on either side. I know the Nuggets are also off of their back-to-back, but they beat the hell out of the Pelicans, where most of the guys didn't play in the fourth quarter anyway. So decently different scenarios, I would say, even though the results were quite the same, I guess, on either side. So probably lean the Magic. I just don't want to get caught up taking them 2 times in a day, or 2 times in 24 hours.
Okay. Got another weird game for you here, Jovan. You got the Warriors and the Lakers. Okay, I don't know who's playing or who's projected to be playing. I'm assuming Jimmy Butler is, still out since that just happened.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. What about for the Lakers? No Luka probably till the weekends, right? Mark Williams.
I think they're just running out the same lineup they did against the Clippers. It's like
we could assume that probably nothing's changing. We're probably not going to see Mark Williams either.
Reeves, Rui, DFS, Jackson Hayes, all those guys.
Yep. Okay. So if that's the case, they're laying 7.5 against a Warriors team that is just treading water at this point, about as mid as you can be. They're sitting at 500 right now. They've won, 3 of their last 5, but lost 2 of their last 3. Pretty average, pretty mids, and they will not have their new star on this team either. What do we do with this game?
I don't know if there's
up as well.
I don't know if there's an easier looking bet on the board than the Lakers tonight.
Okay.
Which is really wanting me to get involved with the Warriors, especially because the Warriors are the team that's off of the back-to-back, and they just lost to the Jazz in Utah. Now they're staying, again, out on the road. going to the Lakers after they just had, I would argue, their best performance of the season. That looked crisp on every single level, beating a Clippers team. And that was like the craziest schematic demolishment I've seen of the Clippers defense so far this year. Just every adjustment was on point. They shot the lights out. They got out in transition. LeBron, again, had a masterclass of a game. It looks like the easiest bet maybe in the NBA this season. So I'm a little concerned, and I would like to get involved.
Okay. And the splits can agree here. Looks like everybody's nuking the Lakers. Okay. Yeah. They've been on fire of late. 10 games over 500. Winners of 4 of their last 5. Maybe it's the Warriors getting a handful of points.
Yeah, I'll definitely wait for. I'll wait for that one because it is a back-to-back. So God knows. I don't think they would do this just because it's Warriors Lakers. Well, probably one of the last times we're going to see the matchup, but it is a back-to-back. So the Curry or Draymond sitting is always a possibility.
Pods to the moon. Yeah, he's him. All right. What about Sacramento, Portland? Anything in that game?
I wanted to take the Kings, but it seems like everybody wants the Kings today, which makes me very uneasy because we're fading the best team in the NBA right now. Insane. So I'm a little scared that seems to be the big time public play tonight, fading the Trailblazers, who are quite literally the Globetrotters, and they're the Globetrotters with the best defensive rating in 10-game stretch in NBA history, which is extremely scary. No way we're getting Adley happy birthdays from Goots and chat, man.
Yeah, you know we are. That's the sunk cost. Goots
says a lot of good.
Goots says a lot of good in this community, folks. That's just one of those things. You just got to chalk it. Sunk cost.
A couple years ago, that man saved my life. So, shout out Adley.
Yeah. Okay. We got AO Gons coming in resubbing. How about that, Gootsy? We got AO Gons coming in. Any CBB futures you guys like to take value on right now? I got one for you that you can get some value on after last night's. How about Arkansas State after a loss on the road last night? First loss in a while. You could bet them to make the tourney. You could bet them to win their conference. That's probably what I would take after that loss last night. I love me some Arkansas State. Love me some Arkansas State. I'm assuming he was asking more for like Dukes to win the Natty, like actual futures for March Madness. Yeah, is what he was asking. But
yeah, I'm kind of at a start from behind point because a lot of my preseason takes were like Florida and Texas Tech, which Texas Tech I'm getting scared because they're such a balloon right now because everybody's starting to hop on. But you know who you may be able to get some value on after tonight, hopefully?
Who?
Your Muscoots, the Terps. I don't think they're winning at all, but I think they're making a run.
Wow.
If they get there.
Well, I'll let you know right now, that's a crock of shit. There's no way that Rodney Rice and the University of Maryland Terrapins are doing anything of significance in the postseason.
I think they will. I think they will, Krabs.
Yeah?
If I'm saying non-biased, I mean, I could totally see that team getting to the Sweet 16, but I don't think any farther.
I think they can be an Elite 8 team if they get a good draw. Maybe Final Four.
I don't know.
Yeah, just what happens when they can't make a basket? What happens when these shooting guards? What happens when Gillespie looks like he's playing his first ever basketball game?
Well, here's the thing. That's why I said if they get a good draw, if they play a team that also does not have an incredible offense that wants to play that rock fight game, cough, cough, the fraudulent Tennessee Volunteers, that's time.
The Atlanta Hawks are trading forward DeAndre Hunter to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Karis LeVert, Georges Niang, 3 second-round picks, and 2 swaps.
Dude, what is DeAndre Hunter? LeBron?
He's a good ball player.
He's a great ball player, but I mean,
that's a haul.
3 second-rounders, 2 swaps, LeVert and Niang, dude. It's more draft competition than they got for Luka.
I'm assuming the swaps benefit the Hawks in that case.
I would assume so, depending on, I don't know what the swaps are, but I don't know if anybody does yet. But yes, I would assume so.
Yeah, that's a lot. Karis LeVert's a darn good player, too. He's just been banged out for the last 3 years in a row.
Yeah, he just hasn't been healthy for more than 2 games.
Interesting move. Okay. All right, Jovan. We went over all the NBA games. We talked about the ice. I want to go over some of these mid-major games with you. Okay.
Sure.
You got NCAA getting it started at 6 p.m. Guys, this is a team that was looped into that, gambling probe, I guess is the right way to put it. They're under investigation for apparently maybe throwing some games, shaving some points. NCAA, they've also suspended some of their players on their team over the last couple of weeks, which kind of goes hand in hand with that investigation. That's not a great sign. If there's any time to bet this team, it's probably today. And the spread has moved from plus 20 to plus 17.5. Maybe you get some effort from NCAA, a team who is under the spotlight, to say the least, right now. And they also have not sniffed a win in a month. So I would lean the points here with Charleston coming off a loss after they were playing some good ball. I feel like that team overperformed the first half of the season, and I want to keep fading the Cougars with no Pat Kelsey.
Yeah, I definitely won't be doing it, but I believe Temple did the same thing. We were staring at that game last season, the game after they got all the allegations for them brought up, and
next thing you know,
half
they
their team
put the
playing.
best game
Next thing
they've
you
had
know,
all
they're
season.
they're winning outright as massive dogs. I don't think NCAA is beating Charleston, but they're probably going to find a way to keep it within the number.
They could keep it within 10. This Charleston team should not be laying 17 points to anybody, to be completely honest with you. A little bit of an overreaction to how they've looked early on this year.
Sure.
Give me NCAA, 6 p.m. start. I'm looking at some of these earlier starts, not in love with any of them. I mean, I like Delaware plus 4.5 with John Camden, former Hokie, who was on our team last year. It was big move coming over from Memphis. Didn't do a single thing last year, and now he's averaging like 20 points per game for Delaware. Hilarious. Yeah. I mean, he had like a 40-point game this year earlier. He was on ESPN. You can't make this shit up. They're welcoming in a UNC Wilmington squad, Jovan, who is just on fire. Delaware has lost 4 in a row. They have not covered 4 in a row. Unfortunately, I do have a rule in this game. Jovan, you want to remind the people what it is? You probably remember.
The rule? Don't fade UNC Wilmington?
Not allowed. Can't do it. So unfortunately, I will not be allowed to partake in this one and take Delaware. But that's certainly the sharp sides. Unfortunately, though, UNC Wilmington just covers every fucking game. They don't care what's sharp and what's not. And I've learned to just leave them off to the sides. You don't fade that team, especially when they're at home. But they are on the road tonight. Maybe a trip to Delaware could be a fat, happy, and complacent spot for the red-hot UNC Wilmington squads.
What about the over Krabs? That could be a fade without fading.
It's up a couple points.
Yeah. I mean, that total, since I don't know, Delaware has to score points to be in this game, and I think they do. I don't think they're going to get UNC Wilmington playing a rock fight type game, hard-nosed defensively. They're going to have to run, shoot threes, play a little faster. So that could be the fade without fading.
Okay. All right, maybe some points. Maybe John Camden puts up another 30 pace. All right. Couple other good games here. I'm seeing some of you guys in chat talking about Chicago State looking like a sharp play. We could talk about it. I'm not sprinting to the books to take it, but I mean, certainly Chicago State's plus 1.5 here at home against Mercyhurst is the sharp sides. Don't get me wrong, but they are coming off their first win in a while. They did just beat LIU, W's, who we're taking tonight as well. They beat them outright, so they're coming off a loss. Sure, it's still weird, and it's not like this team's been profitable. They're not profitable against the spread this season, and Mercyhurst has been in their first year in Division I. They're 12-9 against the spreads. It's got to be Chicago State's. I'm probably not going to take it, but they are 3-20 and only plus 1.5. I wish they weren't coming off a win.
Yeah, it's also Mercyhurst. It's like Mercyhurst, being that they're the new team, they get absolutely zero line respect. I mean, they were
right.
I think like 3.5-point dogs to what's her name, LIU at home. It's like they don't get a lick, rightfully so, because they're a new team. But I don't know if there's been a full adjustment to that yet.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be Chicago State. I just don't know if I want to take it.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of these other spots. The Mount is up to -2 against Iona. Man, I wanted to take them so bad, but I can't after 2 big wins. Iona's been playing better of late, though, Jovan. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Still only 9-13 on the season, though. These teams have not played yet this year. Typically, Iona beats them, but the Mount did beat them the last time they played last season. Wouldn't mind a stab at the Mount -2. I think Iona is just a bad ball club, but looking at the spreads, I'm not trying to get involved. They probably should be laying a little bit more.
Yeah. I wanted to do something in that game, just square up, but I couldn't do it. Felt a little too easy for me. So I'll let the Mount have their moment, hopefully.
The Mount is still without their 6th man, Ard, and that's been a big loss for them. They lost 4 straight games in a row after he went down, their glue guy. Now they have bounced back and had 2 great wins in their last 2 games. I'll give them that, but probably not the time to hop on the bandwagon tonight. That time was the last 2 games. All right?
We have a...
Yeah. Dude, I just don't know if I could do it. This feels like a playoff taken all season that just has not hit. The USF Bulls here at home in the spots. And again, Temple gets no line respect. They shouldn't. They're a terrible program, but they did hit the reset button and bring in a whole new squad this year, and they do have by far the best player on the floor in Mashburn tonight, in my opinion. I don't want to do it.
I just think it's
USF is certainly the sharp side, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't even think it's more like as much of a line thing as the fact that Temple is coming off of a overtime game in their last game and a double overtime game right before that. So, I mean, this is those are 2 straight home games, luckily for them, but now they got to go on the road and play USF, which, I mean, USF has actually shown a lot of heart at home. And even though I actually watched some of their game against FAU just because it was on national television on Sunday. I don't know if I've seen a more impressive 20-point loss than that. It was so odd. They were punching back the entirety of the game, and then FAU just went on these little spurts where they just got to the free throw line a million times. But USF was fighting. I think this is the spot where they get them, so I'll be on them.
Okay. All right. It's definitely the sharp side. I just can't do it.
Yeah, fair.
I'll stick with Drexel against William & Mary for my sharp home team there.
Fair.
Let's see if there's any other mid-majors worth our time. You talked about Jacksonville State. Cannot let that one get swept. You like them on the ML against Middle Tennessee? Sure. I like Siena at home. I think St. Peter's is actual dog shit. I watched them against the Mount the other night. They do have Zakai Ziegler's little brother at the point, and he's their best player. But besides that, man, this team is reeling. And Siena has been a pleasant surprise this season. They hit the reset button and brought in a whole new squad this season, and they've been a little bit better than people have expected already. A young team, but at home on a crazy covering streak as well. They've covered 4 straight games in a row. I wouldn't mind taking another stab at the Siena Saints, catching some steam up from -3.5 to -5.5. Look, the MAC, these games are typically close. The spreads are typically tight. A 5.5 spread in the MAC is like a 10-point spread in any other conference, in my opinion. That's a big number.
Yeah.
And I think Siena's laying it for a reason. I think they get a big-time win against St. Peter's tonight.
Sure. I can get down with that.
What about UMBC laying 8.5 points on the road against New Hampshire? Chat's talking about it. I don't really love anything in this game, but
I mean,
New Hampshire is struggling.
Awful.
Yeah, they're
like one of the worst teams in D1.
Yeah, they're terrible. So I'm not surprised to see UMBC, the Retrievers, great mascot. Not surprised to see them catching steam and laying 8.5. Sure, I would lean that way. You won't see me betting it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple other games. Let's take a peep at let's take a peep at some of these late night guys. Remember, St. Mary's, San Francisco. I want to take San Francisco against St. Mary's. St. Mary's coming off of a monumental win against Gonzaga in that last game. Again, Gonzaga falling flat on their face. Mark Few probably hitting the bottle. They just cannot figure it out. St. Mary's, again, getting the better of them. And just on a crazy streak, Jovan, the best mid-major team in college basketball right now at St. Mary's. You can't argue it. You can't. They're the best team. They're the best mid-major team in college basketball right now, at least by the results. Maybe not the best roster. Maybe not if you're handpicking the best players on the courts. But they've had the best results. They've played the best out of any mid-major so far this season. And that's a team that I want to fade. That's a spot that I want to fade. And San Francisco has been no slouch of late as well, Jovan. They're starting to get it going. They've won 4 of their last 5, and they've covered 3 of their last 5, and they're coming off a great defensive performance. It's been the defense for the Dons. It's been the difference of late, and I think that stands in this game as well tonight, late night, 9 p.m. against St. Mary's. I think they get a win outright, personally. I think this is a massive, fat, happy, and complacent spot for the Gales.
Yeah, that can be a solo mission from you, Krabs.
Okay.
I like the play. It's just it's a combination of my two systems. I don't fade St. Mary's in obvious spots to fade them, and I don't take San Francisco in their obvious sharp spots. So, I mean, the spot tells all. San Fran is definitely the play. I just can't push the button.
Try to look up the last time the Dons have even beaten the Gales.
It's been a bit.
Yeah, well, they're 34-5 lifetime. They've won 11 straight games against the Dons. And you're sitting there saying you're not taking San Francisco.
No, I'm gonna tip cap to you on that one, Krabs.
You'll take Paulo Banchero for a fourth straight time, but you're not taking San Fran.
Yes. It's correct.
Dudes.
That San Fran's done more damage than Paulo.
Yeah, I would also, especially in non-conference,
Yep.
San Fran, taking Paulo 3 times in a week for the only times we've taken him all season. San Fran easily cost us double-digit units.
They do a lot of
just in
damage.
non-conference alone.
They're due, though, Goods. They're due. Give me the Dons. One of my favorite plays today. Almost made the sharp report. Probably a good thing it didn't. Late night games. Dead Larry Bird. Show yourself, bro. Earn your keep over there. Don't just sit there. This is your time to shine with these late night Cali games. Let me know if you guys like any late night CBB games involving some of these Cali schools. I don't have much in these late night games, Jovan. I wish I had more. I thought Cal Baptist laying that number was absurd, but Southern Utah has been just dog shit. They're right up there with New Hampshire as just being a bad basketball team. And Cal Baptist has looked pretty good the last couple games. So maybe that's why that spreads up to 13, but that's still a huge number. We got a couple chats coming in here. UC Davis laying 4 against Long Beach State. I think Long Beach State actually is that bad. So that's the team last year that fired their coach, and then they went on to win their conference tourney and make March Madness, which is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. That team's a shit show. They got one player who can shoot the rock, Askew, and he is not good enough to do it himself. So I want to fade that team, and I like UC Davis, honestly, in that spot, laying 4 on the roads. You don't see that very often. And they're coming off 2 losses, too.
How Askew is still in college. Sneakily been.
I don't know either, but
sneakily been somewhat okay this season. I'll give him some credit. But
yeah, no, he is. But you double cover him, they can't do anything. So
yeah,
yeah.
I think we started the UC San Diego wagon. Well, you did. Remember we bet on them in that 1 p.m. game a couple weeks ago in non-con? They've been them ever since then.
They're 18-4. They're on fire. To be fair, their Goots. Riverside's been even hotter.
Yeah.
They've been on an even crazier win streak right now. Yeah, that game is weird. I can't decide whether that's too many points UCSD's laying against a really good Riverside team that's playing good ball right now, or vice versa. I don't want to bet that game.
Yep. It's not fitting my system.
All right.
If you're sharp and you're -10, -11, I'm not betting you. Kept it to the big conferences initially, but it's spread now.
You like Cal Poly at home against Hawaii?
Funny you asked me that, Krabs, because sneakily, I know it's not on the island, but the Gut has been doing better in Hawaii games as of the last couple. So due for a loss. So due for a loss. So the Gut would 100% say Hawaii off the island. So Cal Poly is air.
Okay. Cal Poly +1.5. I like it.
Yep.
Breaking news. Steelers, Russell Wilson will not return to the team. Pittsburgh going in another direction. Russell Wilson, you are a Las Vegas Raider.
That was a tweet from an NFL rumors account, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
no
true
way
that
we're
is.
fake banging.
It's not necessarily a fake bang. Like this NFL rumors account it's an account, but we'll see.
All right. I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see the squad ride. I want to see that damn train go across the screen. You guys ready?
Of course.
Okay. Gucci, run that shit. All right, chat. W play last night. W Jovan with Arkansas. Coach Cal. The Razorbacks are back. Woo Pig Suey. W's. Okay, W play. Let's keep the momentum flowing, Jovan. I want you to give me a winner. Favorite play today on the slate. I don't give a hoot what sport it's in. I want you to give me a winning play.
Jacksonville State.
Okay. Cannot say I was expecting it, but I certainly do not mind it. Jacksonville State's short favorites on the ML.
Sure.
Okay. I want to put in LIU, Long Island.
Wow. The Sharks.
I want to put in the Sharks. Flip into a favorite on the roads. Cannot get that out of my brain. Any qualms?
No qualms.
Okay.
Ty Strickland up and moving.
Are we putting your system play on the ice in here?
I mean, I will definitely like it the least out of the plays. I'll be honest. I like it, but that as far as the plays go, that Pacers Clippers over after those two offensive performances that both of those teams had is definitely screaming to me a lot more than goals in the ice.
Do you think we've earned an over?
I think we have with Arkansas winning outright.
All right. Over 229 is what I'm seeing over there. Late night in LA. I'm in. We'll go Indiana and we'll go LA over 229. Okay. Well, we got 3 winners in here. Jacksonville State, LIU, and the over in the NBA. A couple other plays that I'm eye-fucking. Drexel. I don't want to give up on Drexel yet.
Drexel.
I think that's a pretty darn good look. Fading William and Mary, and unfortunately Mikey Over's wagon after maybe their biggest game in program history, legitimately. Their biggest, probably their biggest win ever. The most students they've ever had at a game. People losing their fucking minds with the Tribe winning that game against the Cougars. And then they're hitting the roads. Good fucking luck. It's got to be Drexel, and they're up to -3. Let's put their ML in here.
Drexel.
Let's put their ML in here. You want to run it with those?
Yeah, I mean, I'm scrolling through. I mean, we just have no options here, Krabs.
I think we have too many options. I'll be honest.
That's a crazy statement, but, I'll let it slide. Slate is moose.
I want to put San Francisco in here, but I will save you and Goots the trouble.
I mean, Krabs, I'm not taking St. Mary's, so, if you're dropping meat, I mean, I'll listen.
It's one of my favorite plays tonight. They're winning outright. I love that play.
If you are determined that that is a winner, I will not stop you.
We're putting them in. We're trusting the Dons tonight. San Francisco, +5. That'll round it out here. Sorry, Goots. 5 plays, 5 winners for you guys. All right, stick around. We got the Surge stream starting up here in about 2 minutes. WRAV stepping up to the plate, ready to hit a fucking grand slam today. Excited to hear what he crafts up on the Surge stream right after this on the same channel. So, guys, stick around. Don't go anywhere. After BTL, it's Rav, a winner on the slate for today. Help him out. Give the sell job of your lifetime. Okay? 5 plays, 5 winners. We're locking in. We're hitting bets left and right today. I can feel it in my nats. All right? Feeling good about these 5 plays. What's up, dudes?
It's going to win, too, dude.
5 plays, 5 winners. Jacksonville State ML. LIU ML. The over in Indiana and the Clippers, 229. We've got Drexel ML and San Francisco +5. Those are 5 plays and 5 winners for you guys. Okay? Click the right buttons. Click the right buttons. And looks like chat would rather troll than actually hit bets. Sucks to see. Sucks to see. Sucks to see. But you know what? I don't mind it. It's one of my favorite plays today. So 5 plays, 5 winners, chat. Please do me a favor and click on the button of your favorite play today that you know is turning green, not just a play that's going to turn Goots' face red. Okay, pick the play of the square, or sorry, pick the play of the straight bet that you know is turning green and winning. Your favorite sell job you heard today, the nastiest play you heard today. Don't just click the fucking button because you want to see Gucci and piss or see Jovan bitch about San Fran. Okay? Please click on your favorite play you heard us talk about today. All right?
Yeah.
Please. Please, please, please. And Lockmouth in here with the Eagles slurpage, I bet. Well, he deserves it. He deserves it. Hey, I'll be rooting for your Eagles on Sunday. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I'll be rooting for your Eagles on Sunday. And man, that just does not feel right. That just does not feel right. Get those votes in, chat. Who's it going to be? San Fran? You guys trusting Krabs? Or are you trusting Jovan with that over? They want the Dons. They want the Dons. All right.
Bitching.
Yeah, you get to bitch. You get to bitch. I bitched you about Paolo today. You get to bitch at me tomorrow if this ends up being kick.
Yeah,
all right?
Fair.
Sorry, Gates, but you know what? You guys will be thanking me at about 11 p.m. tonight. All right? You'll be thanking me. W play, W stream. Stick around for the Surge stream. Do me a favor, guys. Check out the Super Bowl pod we put up on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Check that out this afternoon after the Surge stream, please. Okay? And we'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Stick around for the Surge stream. We'll be seeing.